assume everyone's here for your free gifts?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Guys, I have one question and then I have one request. First question, who does not have a blue ticket? Everyone here has a blue ticket? Okay. Everyone's good? Do you have a blue ticket? No, you don't. Here we go. Anyone else not have one? All right, guys. Now my request, guys. I promised Sam's Clubs that I would keep this aisle clear of buggies and people so that we can have the store still be functional. Can you guys just park your carts off to the side? The buggies right off to the side aisles, all right, guys? And I would really appreciate that. It's because they bring heavy equipment down these aisles, and we want to have the aisles clear for that. All right, guys? And I'm just going to ask you guys to just step right over here in front of the booth, guys, so we don't have people scattered everywhere. Please, guys, just so that we can keep the store functional, guys. Come right over here. As a matter of fact, the closest people to the booth get the first prizes, guys. Step right over here, guys. All right, guys, get a hand on this booth. Come on, guys. And can we park that buggy right off to the side so that we can have that aisle functional, please? I really appreciate that, guys. And I promised Sam's Clubs that I would do that. Por favor, no, carrito, no, porque hay que pasar, sí, la línea. All right, guys, and if you guys could all just squeeze in so we can get people to walk behind you guys, okay? So we can still have a free aisle. I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much, all right? Now, before you all leave here, you will all be receiving an absolutely free paring knife. It has a $5 value. It is stainless steel. It is absolutely free to you guys. Now, guys, this blade has been tempered to last you 5 years. I have a question. What's the best thing about a free knife, guys? It's free, absolutely. Now, I have to tell you, this free knife is extremely sharp. So management has made me promise to ask these guys to keep them inside of their boxes, inside of their covers, until you leave Sam's Club. So no sword fighting in the aisles, guys. Can these guys say okay? Okay. All right, great. Now, when I hand you your free knives, are you guys going to say thank you?
Thank you.
I have to make sure you're all nice people before I hand you a knife. All right, guys. Now, I'm going to ask for your thanks a little bit differently today. I'm going to introduce a product into the store very quickly. I'm going to hand you your free knives, and you guys will be right back to shopping. All right with these guys? All right, great. My name is Jeffrey, and I work with a company called Hessler Worldwide. And we are the makers of some very famous Gourmet series knives. Does anyone here remember a commercial on TV a few years ago where a knife can cut through a soda can?
Yeah.
You remember that? Great. Now, does anyone here own one of those knives? You do. How long have you had that for?
Probably 10 years.
10 years. And I'm going to ask you a loaded question here, which I already know the answer to. Is that knife still sharp?
Yes.
Absolutely, because they're guaranteed to. All right, guys? Our knives are backed with a complete lifetime guarantee, stating that if you are, for whatever reason, unhappy with your knife, we will unconditionally replace your knife for free. All right? So if you snap it, you bend it, you break it, we replace it. All right, guys? Sound like a good warranty on a knife? Absolutely. All right, so we're all on the same page. Wouldn't you like that same warranty on your car? All right, so we're all on the same page. A good guarantee forever is a great guarantee. Guys, I'm going to assume everyone at home has a knife very similar to this one. Maybe it has a wooden handle on it, right? I like to call this knife Old Faithful. Guys, what's the first thing that goes wrong with these Old Faithful knives? They get dull very fast. That is absolutely true. And what about these handles? You ever have one of those come cracked or loose on you? Guys, you're right. And the problem with those handles coming cracked or loose is that you get germ and bacteria buildup inside that you cannot clean out. All right, guys? It's a sealed knife. And that is the reason why we made our knife. Our knife is made seamless, stainless steel from tip to tip. And our handle is integrated into the blade so that they never come cracked or loose on you. All right, guys? And also, there is no place for germs or bacteria to grow inside of them, right? Now, who here at home has ever tried to cut into a ripe tomato with a dull knife or Old Faithful? Yeah. How does that work out for you? Terrible. You get instant ketchup, right? Absolutely. Guys, our knife is guaranteed to never need any sharpening. No matter what you do to that blade, it's going to go through that ripe tomato every single time, like if it was the very first time out of its box. Whether you want thin slices, thick slices, just drag the tip of the knife, let the weight of the knife do all the cutting for you, all right, guys? Look how beautiful that is. Now, will we all agree here that it is very important to have sharp cutlery in your kitchen? Absolutely. Now, I have another question for you. What kind of knife do you use to get into soft, squishy bread?
I have a Dollar Tree piece of craft knife that I use for everything.
Is it serrated? Is it serrated, hopefully? Right? Guys, we usually use a serrated or a bread knife, right, guys, to get into bread? Now, our knife is 3-in-1. It's a slicer, it's a carver, and it is also a bread knife. But we all agree that squishy bread is the hardest one to get into, right, guys? That's no match for our knife, right? So, guys, you can get into that squishy bread with no problem every single time. Now, do you all see that tip that we put on the front of our knife here? That is a fork. Yes, we put a fork on a knife, guys, so that when you're carving your meat, your turkey, whatever it is, you can pick it right up, put it in its gravy, its glaze, and put it right on your plate. Or if you're on the barbecue grill, your steaks, your chops, you can flip them right over. It's a great tool to have on a knife. You guys agree? Yeah. Absolutely. Now, that commercial I mentioned earlier about the guy cutting through a soda can with a knife, that was 30 years ago. That's no longer a match for our knife, so we're gonna cut through something a little bit harder than aluminum, harder than bone, harder than any frozen thing in your freezer today, all right, guys? We're gonna be cutting through this hammer. Sir, would you verify for us that that indeed is a real hammer? Would you help me out with that? Hey, we're gonna bob something back, Mike. There we go. That's a real hammer? Yeah. Guys, he says it's a real hammer. Can we all have a round of applause for our hammered expert, please? Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. Now, you guys in the back might want to get in a little bit closer because I am about to cut through a hammer. And I want you guys to get a good look at it, all right? Now, what I want you to keep in mind is that what I have in my hand right now is a carving knife. It is not a hacksaw. So I'm not going to try to prove to you that I can get through this entire hammer. I just simply want to show you that no matter what I do to this blade, it will never go dull and I will never damage it. All right, guys? You guys ready for this up front? Now, I don't recommend any of you try this at home. Your steak knives will turn into butter knives instantly, all right, guys? Don't try this at home. These guys up front, you see how deep I am into my hammer already, and you see those shavings coming out of there? Now, you can go home and try this at home and you'll get all the way through a hammer, but you guys don't have all day, right? You want to get back to shopping. And I think I proved my point, all right, guys? Check this out. All of those shavings came directly out of my hammer. If you take a look at my blade, completely intact still. Not one broken tooth, not one scratch on that blade, okay? And that just simply tells you guys that the surgical stainless steel this knife was made with has more integrity. The steel is harder than the steel in that hammer. Now, guys, every time I do that, I get impressed. You guys can clap for that if you want. Now, guys, you guys come to Sam's Club to get great deals, and so we shop in bulk so we get the best out of them, right? And the meat department is no exception. What happens to those big bulks of meat you guys buy? Then you thaw them out. You have that much people to feed, right? We have to thaw out all that meat. We cook it, and what happens to those fuzzy leftovers that end up in your refrigerator? We call that cash in the trash, right? Because that's where they end up, right, guys? Now, this knife will allow you to cut that frozen meat, put back in the freezer what you don't need. All right, guys, this knife will go through ham bone, lamb bone, steak bone, chicken bone. Guys, it's gonna cut your steak, your ribs. It's gonna go through that hammer, and I can cut directly into this wood. These guys think if I have any problem cutting into a hammer and wood, these guys think you'll have any problem cutting into any frozen meat at home? Nope. Absolutely not. Now, with a show of hands, who would say that I have put this knife through some pretty torturous things today? And any knife at home would be dull by now, you guys agree? So what's the true test to our knife? Is it still sharp? We're gonna use our juicy tomato to find out, and I hope it still is sharp, because if not, I'm gonna be out of a job. I'm gonna have to come live with one of you guys, all right, guys? This knife is guaranteed to go through that juicy tomato every single time like it was the very first time out of its box. Look at how beautiful that is. Guys, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years, 20 years, it's gonna cut the same exact way. The best part about it, it's all in writing, guaranteed for life, all right, guys? Now, with a show of hands, who would say I have a pretty terrific knife here? Absolutely. Now, what's the $1 million question you all been dying to ask me?
How much?
I thought you'd never ask. Guys, our competitor has a very similar knife to ours online right now. They sell that knife for $70, all right? Now, that knife does come with a plastic handle, so you get those germs inside of it. They make you wait 6 weeks before they send it to you, and then they tag on a shipping fee. How dare they? Guys, our knife, you're gonna take it home today for only $59.98. Now wait, don't all jump now. That's Sam's Club's nationally advertised price for non-members for one knife. I am here directly from Hessler Worldwide, the manufacturer, the people who make these knives, so I'm here to bring you guys a great promotional offer today. Now, I can't do anything about the price, but check this out. When you take this one knife home, you're gonna take the second one absolutely free. All right, guys? Now, what a lot of people do is they hold their meat with one knife and they carve with the other one. Or sometimes you're just feeling a little bit generous, so you stick one in a pineapple, wrap a Red Bull around it, and you give it to your friend or your neighbor, because no matter who has this knife does not need a receipt or a box. You will have that unconditional lifetime warranty by simply having that logo on our knife, all right, guys? Now, for putting up with me, and I really do appreciate that. Look, I'm even sweating, guys. You guys are all gonna be taking a free paring knife with you. Remember, keep it in your boxes, they're very sharp, all right, guys? Now, but along with those two knives today, you'll take home upgraded paring knives, stainless steel from tip to tip. All right, guys, they're really great in the kitchen for your fruits, your vegetables. When you're entertaining guests, they look amazing on a cheese platter. Sir, may I see your ticket? Sure. You know they say if it can cut through paper, it is razor sharp, right, guys? Here, you get a half a knife when we're done here.
Oh, I see.
All right, guys, those are $20 each, razor sharp knives. These guys will be taking those home today. That's $120 in value right there. $140, $160 in stainless steel. It is all guaranteed unconditionally for life for only $59.98, guys. Now, who says that's a good deal?
That's a good deal.
And it absolutely is a good deal, but you guys don't come here for good deals. You come here for spectacular deals, right, guys? So let's make it that. When you take those 4 knives home today, you're also going to be taking home our perfectly balanced chef knife today, all right, guys? Now, that's your workhorse of the kitchen. That's what you're doing. You're slicing, you're dicing, you're mincing with. Also heavy enough to use as a meat cleaver. That'll go right through a bone. That's a $60 knife, guys. These guys will be taking that home today, all right? But I got one more knife for you. This is a bonus knife, but it's one of my favorite ones. It's the sharpest one in the set. Does anyone here recognize that knife?
Fish knife.
It's a fish knife, yeah, fillet knife or a boning knife, right? So a lot of people use it for their fish. A lot of people use them to cut their fat off of the cutlets or their ribs. I don't have either of those today, but I have this juicy tomato, and I'll show you what it'll do to that. All right, guys, check it out. Pay attention. One single slice. Look at how fast that happens. That tomato jumps right out of its skin. Now, what I like so much about this knife is that flexibility that it has. All right, and that's the flexibility you want in a boning knife. It allows you to go back and fillet the fillet again. You can fillet the fillet in half, and I'm gonna do that for you with one hand, guys, all right? You paying attention? So if you don't like the company coming over your house, give them tomato slices that they can see through, and they're not coming back. I promise you guys, all right? That's another $60 knife these guys will be taking that home today. That's $60 in value, $120, $180, $240, $260, $280 in stainless steel cutlery. It is all unconditionally guaranteed for life for only $59.98, guys. Now, who here would say that's a spectacular deal? And it is. But I have one more bonus item that you're gonna be taking home with these knives today, all right, guys? So stop spending your money, Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks in the morning. Save yourself $7 and a trip. Guys, take a little bit of warm milk, add it to your cup. Take our Robo-Whisk, froth up that milk in seconds, guys. Add your coffee, add your cinnamon, your caramel, whatever makes you happy or fancy in the morning. And you guys got an instant cappuccino to go rival with against Starbucks. But guess what? It's not only for cappuccinos. Who's mixing margaritas for the hurricane this weekend, all right, guys? You can mix your cocktails with that. You can mix your chocolate milks. Guys, you can mix your pancakes, your eggs in the morning, all right, guys? Your pasta soups, your sauces. It has 100 mixes, needs no batteries. That is 100% guaranteed for life. It is also stainless steel. You will take that home today, okay? So if you're following me, that's $310 in stainless steel cutlery. It is all unconditionally guaranteed for life for only $59.98 today, guys, all right? The only bad news is that we do not store our knives on store shelves. I am here as a road show, and when I leave, these knives are leaving with me, all right? We made this box exclusively for Sam's Club members. Inside of this box, you're gonna find your chef knife, your 2 carving knives, your fillet knife, your 2 paring knives. Also inside of that box, you're gonna find that Robo-Whisk tucked inside. All right, guys? Now, it does have a barcode on it. So you take these from me, but you pay for them at the register just like anything else. Which that means to you that you get 100% satisfaction guarantee from Sam's Club with these knives. But the first thing you're gonna see inside of this box when you open it is that guarantee stating that these are the last knives these guys will ever need to buy, all right, guys? Now, I have one more promotional offer to show you, and I promise you I'm done, all right, guys? You can take that home in a complete set today. Our complete set will come with our steak knives, all right, guys? Now, our steak knives are very, very unique. They have the same exact blade I carved into the hammer with and the wood with. They're guaranteed to never need any sharpening. You can use them for just anything, and they look amazing when you're entertaining guests, all right, guys? Now, you will receive 10 of those. You will also receive the famous Japanese Santoku knife with the flat blade. Go home and make your own sushi. Now, if you were paying attention in the beginning, our founder is a germaphobe. That's why we have one-piece knives. He also recreated the way we store our knives. If you look on the bottom of our block, you can see completely through that. That's so that you don't store your germs in there with your knives, all right, guys? This is also made from the rubber tree. It is water repellent and mold resistant, all right, guys? That's a $600 value. These guys can take that home for $149 today, all right, guys? If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Give yourselves a round of applause for putting up with me. I really appreciate that. Now, guys, before I hand you your free knives, is there anyone here that wants to take home a set today? These guys in the back, let me get you. Hold on. If you want a big set, all you have to say is big set, and I'll give you that. All right, guys? All right, so who's taking home a set? Here we go. Anybody else taking home a set? These guys? Let me get you that. Here you go. You taking home a set too? You guys taking home a set?
Just one of the, yes.
One of the gourmet sets? There you go. All right. And I'll take your blue tickets too. And here, sir, you can have your free paring knife.